Okay, so we're here with Christian Thomas, aka BlueMaster21, who just got top 16 at the YCS Ghent with an interesting Orcust list. So Christian, tell us about the event and show us your deck list.
So I went 9-2 at YCS Ghent and then lost in top 16. I decided to play Pure Orcust because I think all other decks just have too many weaknesses, and I think this is in a pretty good position right now in the meta game. And I built this deck with Paulo Gonçalves and Alberto Conti together. Both of them also played the YCS this weekend. Paulo played in Niagara Falls and also got to top 32, and Alberto unfortunately went 9-2 in Ghent, but didn't top due to tiebreakers. So yeah, let's just go right into the deck profile. We played basically normal sum Orcust, and I will use some proxies, so I apologize in advance for that, but I had to give all the cards back on Sunday and we record this deck profile on Tuesday. So we played 3 Scrap Recycler, 3 Math, and 1 Armageddon. They're just really good together with hand traps because essentially all of them is a 1-card starter to your Orcust combo, so you can just have this and like 3 non-engine cards, and your turn 1 is really, really strong with that. And so I really liked them over the weekend, to be honest. And then for the Orcust count, I played 2 Hard Power, 2 Nightmare, and 2 one-offs. In the process of testing this deck, I thought about cutting down some numbers, especially the second half, because essentially you don't really want to draw the Orcusts. Like, they're basically dead draws. But the thing is that we used Gizmek in this list, and also if you draw like 1 harp together with 1 normal sum and you don't have the second harp in the deck, you can't really do your standard combo, so that's really a huge issue, and that's why I think this ratio was good and I didn't really have big issues over the weekend. And then we also decided to play some extenders, because if your normal sum gets hand trapped, you want to have a way to play through that. We didn't play that many extenders because we preferred hand traps, but I think you still need to reuse some. So we thought that the dangers are the best extenders because they also help in brick hands. For example, when you draw like many Orcust cards and you have a danger, you can still get lucky, discard an Orcust or draw into a normal sum to unbrick. And the thing with other extenders, for example, like Vishuddha, are that you have to use them before you drop the normal sum. And that means that they won't hand trap the normal sum, because they know even if you hand trap the normal sum there, you can still get to the full Nightmare combo, so they will hold the hand trap for Galatea, which is a huge issue because then you can't access your Orcust spell traps. But with dangers, you can just like use a normal sum, they will hand trap that if they have run, and then you can just extend with the danger and still do your normal Orcust combo, so those were really good. And then we decided to play Rom Gizmek as well. The thing is, like, after you end your turn 1, you normally have access to both parts of the Orcust engine, which is essentially Harp and Skeleton and Nightmare and Wand. And if you already have that, like, we're playing such a high amount of normal sums that sometimes the Orcust engine just gets redundant and you want something else that you can send. And Gizmek really comes in handy at that point, because it's just like another card you can send with like either Scrap Recycle, Armageddon Knight, or Orcust Nightmare. And this card is also really good in grind games because it just comes back every turn. And usually when you have like, when you know that you have access to Gizmek, you can just keep your World Wand and your Symbol Skeleton banished and then just use them so you won't banish your resources. And this card was really good this weekend, honestly. And then, like I said, we just played a heavy amount of hand traps because we expected to face many Orcust variants, and as well as Salamangreat and Thunder Dragon, and those are already 3 out of 4 of the decks to beat. Like, Sky Striker is the only deck where you don't really want to have hand traps, but even versus that deck it's fine. So we played 3 Ash, 3 Vela, then 3 Impermanence, 3 Nibiru, which was really, really good. Like, it won me so many game runs because nobody really expected it there. And then of course like 3 Phantasma, so that's just 15 hand traps, and like everyone except Nibiru still does something versus Sky Striker, so I think this ratio was really good. And then for spell cards, Instant Fusion, which honestly is the best extender, because it's not only an extender, it also just makes Winder, which is also an auto win versus 3 out of 4 of the meta decks at the moment. Like, Winder is so broken, and also Thousand Eyes is really, really good card going second. Like, it's Instant Fusion is just like one of the best cards in this deck, honestly. And For the last two extenders, we decided for Reborn and Foolish. Reborn is also like a great utility card. You can reborn their Ray in the mid game to attack over the link, so they can't reborn it. You can reborn Thousand Eyes in the mid game, or Rinder, for example. So this was really good. And Foolish is also just an extender that you can use after the normal sum, because you can send Hub if they handshot the normal sum, for example, or if they Ash the Hub, you can still send Nightmare or Want to extend. And then for the last three cards of the deck, we played one Orcust Return, one Orcust Bubble, and one Crescendo. I think all of them are just needed, like each of them come up in some specific situations. So yeah, the ratio was fine. And 40 cards in the main deck. So let's continue with the extra deck. So I played one Mermaid, Cerberus, Phoenix, and Unicorn. That's basically for the Nightmares. Yeah, I think the ratio is fine. Like, I thought about maining or playing a second Phoenix instead of the Cerberus, because the effect doesn't really come up that often. But the thing is, Salomon Great plays Heater, and that's why you don't really want to start with Phoenix. And also, sometimes Cerberus came up versus some decks to have the pop effect. So, yeah, ratio worked out fine. And then for the Orcust cards of the extra deck, it's triple Galatea, one Long Girsu, two Dingirsu, also pretty standard. I think the second one is absolutely mandatory because it just helps grinding so much. Like, came up multiple times at this weekend. Yeah, I think overall the ratio is just pretty standard, honestly. And then for the Link Force, it's Topologic for the Babel play, which came up versus Thunder Dragon, and also versus Salomon Great plays really good in the mid game. And then one Bulbasaur to OTK. You can play around Nibiru in this deck quite well with Bulbasaur, because you can summon it as a fourth summon in your main phase 1, and if you have Babel up or Gizmek Engrave, you can just do the rest of your summons in battle phase and OTK them that way. And then we played this. I don't know if all of you know the card, so I will just explain it. It's Topologic Ceroboros. It gains 200 attack for each banished card, so this is just a way to win unwinnable games, so to say, because if you have like a really grindy game, you're gonna use Gizmek a lot of the time, and Gizmek banishes 8 cards from your deck each time you use this effect, so you can sometimes summon this with like just 10,000 attack and just attack over a monster from the opponent and just win the game from there, because they don't really expect this. So didn't came up with the YCS, but came up pretty often in testing. Like that's why I think it deserves a spot in the extra deck. And for the last two, obviously the Thousand Eyes and Rinder, which I already talked about before. So lastly, let's go to the side deck. Yeah, I think this should be in everyone's side deck, Freelancia. I think all Orcust variants are just so popular at the moment that you just need it, and this is just a blowout in the mirror match. Like, it's the best card for sure. And then triple Twin and triple MST to combat Skystrike and the other back row decks. I thought about maining another or siding another one like Cosmic, but at the end I decided thought that this was enough, because I didn't expect that much Striker. At the end I did play against 6 Sky Striker deck at the YCS, so maybe in hindsight I could have played more, but I think this was still fine, because like, yeah, I don't think the Sky Striker matchup is that bad, even with only 6 removals, so yeah. And then 3 Called by the Grave. Normally people maining this, but the thing is that in main decks only Ash is really popular hand trap that you can use Called by the Grave, and because not many people using Veiler, except for maybe Salaman Grades, so that's our only side deck. But post that you gain Lancia as a target and also Shifter, which Thunder Dragon plays, and those cards just ornaments versus the deck. So I think post that you just need the Called, and that's why it's only in the side deck. And then for the last side deck card, it's Free Sum Limit, which is not standard, but still, like I said before, we expected a lot of combo variants, and if you just end your first turn with your normal combo and then flip up Sum Limit, it's just an auto win from there. And since you're playing cards like Gizmek, even if they stop your combo, you can still Sum Limit them and then still like summon Gizmek and just attack over the monsters, because essentially when you have Sum Limit up, a big beta like Gizmek is just really good. So yeah, I think the main deck was that good against combo decks that I actually only ran to game 3 versus the combo mirror runs, and that was also going second Orcust list, so I elected him to start. So unfortunately I never used it, but in testing this card was really good. And yeah, that's basically for the deck. At the end, I want to give some shoutouts. Definitely big shoutouts to Paulo. Couldn't do it without him. Like, we tested so much, we theoried so much about the deck, so he really helped me on that. Then as well, shoutouts to Alberto, because the normal sum idea was basically his idea, and like we also theoried the week before the YCS, so he definitely also helped on that. And then shoutouts to the whole team, of course, Eman Games. Shoutouts to everyone who made this an amazing weekend. Shoutouts to Erkin for borrowing me cards, and shoutouts to my brother for recording this deck profile. And yeah, that's it. Check us out on social media, Facebook and everything. And thank you for watching, guys.